See, now I'm going to share my screen here. Please go through this, right? Chapter number 3. JetBus formulation. Okay. So this is also very important. Out of all the chapters, that means out of 6 chapters, the one of the easiest and very important chapter is the third chapter, that is JetBus formulation. Already we have discussed about the formation of fibers. Again, we are having 2 types of methods that are available for formation of fibers. The first method is direct inspection method, and the second one is singular transformation method. Out of those 2 methods, the second one, that means a direct inspection method, is more convenient for any user for determining the admittance matrix of a power system. See, what is the importance of, or what is the need of forming that admittance matrix? Why? Because in order to obtain the load flow analysis, see, in the case of load flow analysis, we are mainly concentrating or focusing on the admittance matrix. Okay, so based on that particular admittance matrix only, we are able to get the various parameters like real power, reactive power, voltage and magnitude, phase angle, etc. All these parameters are very important for load flow analysis. So similarly, what is the need of having this JetBus separately? So as far as the impedance is concerned, suppose if I want to give you an easy example for understanding the importance of the impedance. Now, if you are taking a current, I mean a power system, suppose there may be a chance of occurring different types of faults. Okay, those faults may be either symmetrical faults or unsymmetrical faults also. That depends on the type of fault. So symmetrical faults are nothing but three-phase faults. All the three-phase faults comes under the category of symmetrical faults. Unsymmetrical faults means line to ground fault, line to line fault, line to ground fault, etc. So all these types of faults are comes under the category of unsymmetrical faults. Okay. So whenever we want to do the fault analysis, then what is the important parameter that you are going to consider? Okay, already you people know about the relationship between V is equal to I Z. So already we know this V is equal to I into Z. So according to V is equal to IR, that is Ohm's law. Okay, but what is the relationship between impedance and current? What is the relation between impedance and current? So impedance is directly proportional to the current. Impedance is directly proportional to the current. That means whenever a fault is existing in your power system, that means there may be a chance of flowing high amounts of currents through that path. What happens if the current has been increased? What is the first and foremost factor that is affected? That means obviously whenever a fault is going to exist means the impedance is the first parameter that is going to be changed. Okay, so obviously we need to focus more on the impedance to based on upon the occurrence of the faults. If ZDs increases means obviously we can able to reduce the current also. Already these topics you have already seen in your machines, that means starters. So at the time of starting, the machine will take high amount of current. So suppose if there is no starter means that amount of current is directly flows into the field winding or armature winding also, though, so that may be gets damaged. So in order to avoid that type of situations, definitely we must reduce the starting current. So that's why initially we are going to insert a large amount of resistance in the starter. So because of that, high amount of currents will be reduced. That means if Z increases means I decreases. If I increases means Z decreases. So this is the inverse relationship between these two parameters. And similarly, we already derived in the last class that Z bus is equal to. So Z bus is equal to inverse of Y bus. Already we people know that how to determine Y bus. So after obtaining this Y bus, if you take the inverse of this, definitely you will get Z bus. But you people are familiarized with the two port networks. So in the two port networks, suppose if the given network has a Z parameters, obviously you know what are the equations that you are going to write down and how to obtain the Z parameters like Z11, Z12, Z21, Z33, etc. Okay, etc. So likewise, in this case also, again, we are going to have different number of equations, algebraic equations, and based upon that, we are going to write down Z bus as it is a matrix of size n by n, matrix of size n by n. Okay, I don't want to discuss again those details in this class also. Just that you please try to remember these points, and if you are having any doubts, you please ask your friends, those who have attended. So from that generalized expressions, we can write Zi is equal to Zji is equal to, sorry, we have written some generalized equations, that is y1 is equal to z11 into I1 plus z12 into I2, etc. So from that directly I am writing here as Zij is equal to Vi by Vi by Ij, Vi by Ij, where I1 is equal to I2 is equal to, and so on, in is equal to 0. See, you can also consider these Z parameters as open circuited parameters. So once if you open circuit one port, obviously you will get two parameters, and if you open another port means obviously you will get another two parameters. Suppose if it is a two port network means obviously you will get four Z parameters, Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22. Suppose if the number of ports are have been increased means obviously the Z parameters are also going to be increased. Similarly, Ij should not be equal to 0. So if Ij is equal to 0, there is no meaning for that. If Ij is equal to 0, Zij is equal to, obviously it is equal to infinity. Okay. So since if it is a symmetrical matrix, then directly we can write down that Zij is equal to Zji. Zji. Okay. So this is about the information you required before going to start the. See, only one important question that will definitely comes in your university question papers, or maybe internal or examinations or external examinations also. Only there is one question. One question. That question is JetBus building algorithm. So in that particular question, you will have four different cases, and we are going to see that four cases. And after that, we are going to solve one problem based on this. And with that, we are going to conclude this third chapter also, right? Okay. Now we will see one problem here. Just a simple problem: how to obtain the JetBus if the system contains or the network contains the resistances like this. Just you please go through this. I'm drawing a network here. Now you see here. So here I have drawn a simple circuit with the resistance values of 2, 3, 4. Similarly, this is the reference node, and these are node 1 and node 2. The voltage that we are measuring from second node to the reference node is V2. Okay, and similarly, V1. Okay, so here it is. So these are the nodes: reference node 1, reference node 2, and this is a reference node R. Okay, so here you're having only two nodes, and we are considering one reference node also. Okay, now what is the problem here? Now you please see here. Consider, first you note down this. Consider the network shown in the figure consists of three buses, one of which is reference. One of which is a reference bus. Evaluate jet bus. Now this is the problem. Okay, you just consider that network, particular network, and that particular network consists of mainly three buses, and out of those three buses, one bus is nothing but the reference bus. Okay, so just I will give you 2 to 3 minutes time for determine. See, already everything is known to you. Okay, nothing is new to you. Everything is known to you. Okay, nothing difficult in it. You please just your knowledge to obtain the jet bus formation. So this is I1. Okay, now this is I2. So unit current injection method. So I am using unit current injection method for determining the jet bus. Okay. So later I will explain you the procedure. First of all, you just use your knowledge to obtain the jet parameter. So here we need to have jet 11, jet 12, jet 21, jet 22. Now these are the four parameters that you are going to get from this particular example. Okay. Now you take 2 to 3 minutes time. So please try to understand the situation also. Now from this chapter onwards, next coming three chapters, each chapter, each concept requires a problem to be solved. Okay, one problem definitely will be there. Please try to understand. You please note down the problems. Okay, I will give you the material regarding the theory content, but not for the problems. You need to focus more on the problems. Then only you will get some perfection. Otherwise you may lose hopes. Okay, please take 2 to 3 minutes. It's already 9:22. We shall solve it by 9:25. Please go through that. See, have you completed? Now you just look at the solution what I am going to use here for determining those jet parameters. Now, as far as the given problem is concerned, so in that problem, you will have three buses. So out of which the first one is reference, and you will have two voltages are also given, two currents are also given. That means definitely you will get two algebraic equations for determining those parameters, right? Now, inject a unit current here, inject a unit current at bus 1. This is a solution. You need to follow exactly the same in your question papers also. Keeping bus 2 is open circuit. Okay. Now what this means? So inject a unit current at bus 1, and by keeping bus number 2 is open circuited. That means again you need to draw the circuit original again. You have to redraw the circuit. Okay. Just you go through this. Just you remember the original diagram. Now you press just to see what are the changes that are to be made for this particular case. Okay, now this is the case. Now this is I1. Now, as far as this particular case is concerned, you inject a unit current at bus number by keeping bus number 2 open. That means, now see here. See, that's why we require very large time for, we are taking very large. So this is unit current. Okay, so this is a current source. It is equal to 1 ampere. Now this is, we are keeping this second port open. Now we are keeping the second port open. Right? Now this is your diagram now. So how many parameters that we are going to have? Now by using this, now what is Z11? What is Z11? That is V1 by I1. Is it not? So Z11 can be obtained by considering V1 by I1. Similarly, Z12, or we can have this Z21. Okay, so V2 by I1. I think these are the two parameters. So is it correct? Yes, correct. So V2 by I1. Why? Because please see here, we are opening the second terminal, that means second port. So completely I2 is equal to 0. Why? Because second port is open circuited. Now the first thing is we are injecting a unit current in port number 1. So from that I1 is there, I2 is also equal to 0. Now what is V1 here? What is V1? So you just see here. Now from this, So here 2, 3, 4, all the three resistances are parallelly connected. So as far as the second, this is the first resistance. As far as the second ohms resistance is concerned, there is no current is trying to flow in that particular path. So obviously, whatever may be the current that is coming from the current source, that is directly entering into this 3 ohms and 4 ohms resistance. So these 3 and 4 gets connected in series. So 3 plus 4, 7. So total 7 volts. Okay, total 7 volts. So V1 is equal to 7. V is equal to IR. Please do remember that. V is equal to IR. Okay. So 7 by 1. Obviously, we know that I1 is equal to 1 ampere. So obviously, Z11 is equal to 7. So similarly, so V2. So V2 means, so this is open circuited means, so that definitely there exists a open circuited voltage. That open circuited voltage directly connected across this 4 ohms resistance. So 4 multiplied by 1 ampere, that is trying to flow in that particular path. So 4 by 1, that will be equal to 4. So that is equal to Z21. Got it? So please try to analyze the circuit. Now initially we are keeping the second port is open circuited, and in the first port we are connecting that 1 ampere current source. So by connecting that 1 ampere current source in between the first node and the reference node, obviously 2 ohms gets open circuited. So why? Because I2 is completely equal to 0. So 3 ohms resistance and 4 ohms resistance gets connected in series. Okay, and now the total resistance is equal to 7 ohms. So what is the total current that is trying to flow? That is trying to flow is equal to 1 ampere. 1 ampere. Okay. Similarly, Z21 is equal to V2 by I1. So these are the Z parameters already. See, we already know how to obtain the Z parameters. Okay. So based upon the number of nodes here, we are getting the number of algebraic equations. So similarly, Z21 is equal to V2 by I1. That is equal to 4 by 1. So first parameter is equal to Z11. Second parameter is equal to Z21. Now what is the second case? Now, instead of injecting the current, unit current at bus number 1, now we are keeping bus 1 is open circuited, and bus 2 get injecting the unit current in bus number 2. Okay. Now again we need to make changes for the diagram. Now again this 1 ampere current is unit current is injected into the second bus. Now these are the changes to be made for the given diagram. Okay, so this is again 1 ampere. Now this port number 1 is open circuited. That means I1 is equal to 0. Okay, I1 is equal to 0 means there is 3 ohms resistance is completely connected to this. Okay. Now what about the two parameters that we are going to have? So Z12 is equal to, Z12 is equal to V1 by I2. Now what is V1 here? So that is a open circuited. Obviously V1 is equal to, what is the V1 here? So here I1 is equal to 0 and I2 is equal to 1. Similarly, you can obtain the remaining two parameters. Z12 is equal to V1 by I2, and similarly Z22 is equal to V2 by I2. Is it not? Now, what is V1? What is V1? So V1 is equal to 4 by I2 is equal to 1. So which is equals to 4. So how can we obtain 4 here? Even though 1 is open circuited, the same current I1 is equal to 0 here. Please do you remember that? Okay, please make the clear cut analysis. Then only you can able to understand. Again, you need not determine Z12 and Z21. Why? Because obviously the Z matrix are the Z bus is symmetrical, means obviously you can able to say that Zi is equal to Zji. So V2 by I2 is equal to, so V2 by I2 means, so 6 by 1. 6 by 1. So finally you will get 6. Now Z bus is equal to, so finally Z bus is equal to 7, 4, 4, 6. Okay. Now this is about the formation of jet. See, this is a simple example, but we are not going to focus on this type of example. So in order to explain the formation of jet bus clearly, we have taken this example for determining the jet bus parameters. So now again we are going to see jet bus building algorithm. In that particular case, we are having total 4 cases, and by using that 4 cases, finally we are going to solve that problem. And you are going to expect that type of problems will comes in your external examinations. Okay. And tomorrow we shall start our JetBus building algorithm. So that's all for today. If you are having any doubts, you please raise your doubts. Otherwise, we shall quit this session. Do you have any doubts? Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you.